family. It's Snapsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. So I'm on my own today, guys, and we're just gonna be diving into the topic. So today the topic is all about are you on the same page? How to be on the same page with your spouse, and it's a very, very beautiful topic. And I hope you guys are going to join me and participate. Just feel free to type whatever you think, um, your own opinion, and or if you are a coach, feel free to actually just leave a comment because it's important for our audience to actually to understand actually what does it mean to be on the same page with your partner. So before we dive into the topic, there's a few things that I'm going to cover, and to make sure that you're on the same page with your partner in a relationship, we have to make sure that a man understand his role and a woman understand her role in a relationship. Once both parties understand their roles, then they are able to align everything together so they can build a good foundation in a relationship and have that beautiful relationship that they desire. So a man in a relationship, a man is a leader. And a man leads his family. He has a vision for his family. He is a leader in that relationship. He doesn't control, but he leads his relationship through his vision, through his woman's vision. He makes sure that he is a leader. He looks after his wife or spouse. He looks after his children. He doesn't abuse his children. He doesn't abuse his spouse. His job is to make sure that everything runs smoothly when they are faced with the challenges in life, because challenges, they do appear in a relationship. So, and also a man is a provider. A man provides for his family. He goes to work. He provides emotionally. He provides spiritually and emotionally. And also a woman, she is a provider. A woman goes to work, she provides for her family. If it's a woman who stays at home, look as a housewife looking after the children, she is still a provider. She is providing for those children by looking after them and making sure that they are fed, making sure that they go to their activities, drops them to school, and she making sure that her spouse, when he comes from work, the food is cooked. She does everything. So she provides for her family. So a man is a provider, a woman is a provider. And also a man is a teacher. He teaches his children and his spouse the values of life. Beliefs, they share, the woman and the wife, they share together those beliefs and the values, and the man, and then he teaches his children the values of life. A woman teaches her children, but that is the role of a man. And a woman's role, she's a helper, she's a mentor. So a man helps, a woman helps her man to actually the dreams they have together. So these two people, they merge together and they have dreams. So a woman's job is a helper to help those dreams come to reality. She's a mentor. She mentors her husband to become the man that is meant to become, that God created him to become. And he's a cultivator. A man is a cultivator. He actually cultivates, making sure the foundation is the foundation of that relationship is watered with good things. A woman, she's an inventor. So if you didn't know any woman out there who goes, I'm not enough, I'm not, I don't feel that I love myself. How can you not love yourself? If you are an inventor, you invented a human being was invented by God. The first human being was invented by God. He created that human being. But the second was invented by Eve, Adam and Eve. So Eve, she carried Cain and his brother Abel. So that is amazing. And that's where the humankind began. And a woman's job is amazing. So for those, if you are somebody who say, I'm not enough, I don't think I can do this, I don't think I can do this. If you can invent a human being, to me, I've got no words to say, because that means you're special. So you have to know that every woman out there means you guys are special. And a man is an architect. He designs the future of his wife and his children. He has to bring, if you date women out there, if you date a man who depends on a woman, that means something, you have to do something. If you date a man who has got no vision, who is not an architect, who cannot do anything for his family. So that means, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, that means if you are dating a man like that, that means you have to actually find a good man that can actually play the role of an architect, bring a vision for his family, have a vision for his family, and also, what does a woman? A woman, she brings ideas. If a man is an architect, so many pitches his ideas, the vision about life or their businesses, or the woman has a vision as well. So he pitches his ideas to his woman, and then the woman, she actually take notes. And then she brings ideas as well together that aligns with both of them. And then she plans and programming. She does the programming. Okay, honey, this is your dream. So let's plan this. Let's program. If you date somebody where there is too much fight, there is too much argument, there's always pain, there's always stress, there's depression, there is no happiness, there is no joy. Come on, when do you plan? When do you become an architect? If you date a woman like that, if you date a man who is miserable, who is like that, where do you get to plan? So yeah, in order to make sure that you're both on the same page, that's why the power of selection is very, very, very important. And also, if we get it wrong when we select our spouse, people, if you bring across, help somebody, maybe they have weaknesses. If they are willing to change, they will change for better, they'll grow, but they're not going to change because they're being forced to change. And also what I believe, that when a woman wants to, when a man wants to change, they will change because they feel that they want their dreams and their goals to align with their woman. They're not going to change because they are forced. A woman would change because she wants her goals to align with her spouse, her man. So that's how changes are made. Changes are not made because we work on ourselves and then we force the other person to be like us. So the energy that we bring in that relationship is the energy that is going to help the other person. Let's say maybe I have some weaknesses and then I see my spouse, they are doing amazing things, and then I'll be like, oh, I want to learn that. So then that's how the relationship are changed. But some people, they don't really want to learn. So that's why it's very important. And a woman also, she designs order, she brings order and unity to her family. So to make sure that a woman and a man, they are on the same page, any woman that is watching, never ever tell a man that I can't stand your mom. Never ever say those words, or I cannot stand your siblings, or I cannot stand any member of your family. Never ever say those words. You can put them in a way that it grows, it helps somebody to grow. Or maybe let's say if the mom always say hurtful things, or they bring you down, because people do, we are different. So what you can say is maybe communicate with your spouse in a positive way so that they are aware of what is going on, or maybe they are already aware. So just communicate with them so that they support you. But don't come in across where you say, I can't stand your mom, because that it will be hurtful to him or to the woman that you are dating. Or don't tell the woman that you are dating, I cannot stand your mom, I cannot stand your family members, they're this, they're this. Just communicate, because that person, when you visit together, the family members, you both are aware anyway. You'll be aware of what is going on. So you can communicate as a couple in a way of supporting each other. Because if it comes across as I can't stand your family, that person, the family is the family that they have known all their lives. For somebody to come in and they say they want to be with them, and then they tell them that they can't stand their family, they will be really, really hurt. So you can put it in the right way, so they can support you and you can support each other to make sure you are on the same page. You are allowed to express your feelings, but they need to come across as the right way. So find a way as an individual based on your situation to communicate it. Never ever, if your in-laws are hurting you or they're doing something to hurt you, never ever keep it to yourself or try to pretend, because it will actually destroy inside. It destroys you emotionally. So never ever try to hide, because your spouse, they can see. So communicate with them the right way. So that those are the roles that we both need to understand. If we understand a woman's role, that okay, a man is a leader, a woman, she provides, a man is a provider. The reason why we have to understand the role, because once we understand, and also man is designed to bring the best in everything to his woman. So when a man is dating somebody, that person is designed. That's why he's an architect. That's why he's a cultivator. That's why he is a leader. He is designed to actually to unleash the best out of his woman, so that they can lead together. So if a man is very, very abusive, can you imagine what it would do to his woman? And a woman as well, she is actually designed, both men and women, once you both understand, then you have to submit it to one another. That means in the physically, that means you merge together. And then in the spirit, that means you merge together. These people, that's the reason why when we make sex, we have sex, these two individuals, they merge together, they become one. So if you have sex with more than two people, more than one person, so that means in spirit you'll be merged with lots of energies. And that means it can affect your relationship. So that means if you are looking for a serious relationship, so as a leader, if you want your relationship to work, you need to merge with one person. When you merge with one person, then you understand, you both have to understand each other's world. You enter each other's world, and once you enter each other's world, you then have to, in that part, you then have to get to know each other's world. Once you're merging together, that means you submit to one another. And when you submit to one another, the relationship, the foundation of a relationship is formed. And that foundation of a relationship is formed. It means whenever there is an argument, whenever there is a misunderstanding, that means that these two people can come to a resolution. They can be able to resolve problems. We're allowed to fight in relationship. Anyone that says, I don't fight in a relationship, or for me, there's one thing that I don't do in a relationship. I don't fight because I don't know how. I don't know how to fight. I don't fight. But I communicate my needs. And if my spouse does not understand my point of view, because sometimes what men does, they judge you they judge 20 women in one. Like there's this saying that women don't understand, women talk, women they say. So I always correct my spouse and say, listen, if you want to judge me, you have to judge me based on who I am as a person, and not based on what people think about women, because I am my own person. So I always have to, if there is something that I don't understand, I don't sweep things under the carpet. That's why I don't fight. I don't sweep things under the carpet. I never pretend to be happy. If I'm not happy, I say it out loud. And making sure that, and I don't try to be the one that wins the argument. As long the other person knows where we stand, both of us, I am good to go. That's why I don't have time. My family, they know that I don't have time to fight. In life, there are two things in life. When things go wrong, you have two options. You can either solve the problem, or you can either let it go of things that you cannot control. For me, in a relationship, it's all about fixing things that I can control, which is me, fixing me. I cannot fix my spouse. Any person that I date, I make it very clear that my job is not to fix them. My job is to love them. My job is to actually invite them into my world and share my world with them. The world that is not perfect. The world that is full of ups and downs, full of joy, full of happiness. So that is my world. That's what I do in a relationship. So in order for that relationship to work, communication. That's why communication, understanding the importance of communication. That's why I don't, whenever I have problems in a relationship or even at work, coaches that tell you, I don't go around the bush. I just say things and try to fix them. If we can't fix them, we leave it to God. There are some things some events that I don't have control. Some I have. I cannot control them. I can fix them, but some I can't. So those are the things that I really don't have the time in a relationship to actually spend time in trying to fix somebody, trying to make sure that somebody behaves like me. It's exhausting. And it's not fair for the other person. So when you date somebody, to make sure that you're both on the same page, grow together. The reason why we grow together, the energy we bring into the relationship, it will help the other person to grow. There are some times where I see my spouse doing something, and I'm like, I want to know, how is he doing that? So I can do it myself. but there are some things that he does that I cannot do. So all those are the things that you grow together with your spouse, and through challenges, a relationship has its own challenges as an individual. So to make sure we are both on the same page, it means we cannot compare our relationship with other people's relationship. We cannot compare our cars with other people's cars that we are friends with. We are not compared wedding rings, their lives. We cannot do that. So to make sure we are on the same page, we have to understand that our destiny was given to us because our destinies are unique. Your marriage's destiny is unique. So never doubt that. It might not be perfect, but it is unique. So don't doubt that. And start comparing, going on social media, comparing your holidays with your friends, comparing your cars with your friends, comparing promotions with your friends, the business, comparing with your relationship, and then it destroys the relationship, because it means, if we talk about being on the same page, it means we are okay with what we have. We are okay with our dreams. We are okay with the life that has been presented to us, whatever that might be. So we are okay with it. So we just gonna enjoy it, embrace it. Fear is always there. A man will fear of his children growing up, becoming women, little women, and men, if they've got boys and girls, fear is there. Fear will be there. But then the thief of joy is when you compare your life, fear steals joy. Fear steals our moving forward. So the moment the fear comes in, fearing your children, you have to be aware of it. And that's when you can talk to somebody that maybe talk to somebody that you trust about your fears, or coach, get rid of it, get rid of that fear. It sounds very easy and simple, but try to get rid of it, because the fear, it holds us captivity. It can hold us captivity. It can hold us moving forward. It can hold our children moving forward. It can hold so many things. Some people completely, they fear if they fear losing the relationship. They enter a relationship and the other person tells them, oh, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. They date each other. And once they date each other, they accept each other. And then through that relationship, it's either the woman, she will start fearing if she's good enough for the man, or the man, he will start fearing if he's good enough for this woman. But hang on a minute. If somebody has chosen you to be with you, that means you're good enough for them. So the only thing, for me personally, I would say, if you fear in that relationship, get into personal development. That means confidence-wise, you need to work on your confidence. You need to accept yourself for who you are, because if you fear in the relationship, fear is the thief of joy. Comparing your relationship with other people's relationship is the thief of joy. So we just have to make sure that we enjoy that relationship. It's not easy to be in a relationship, but you can, with gratitude, you can conquer fear. You can get to where you need to be as a person in that relationship and be on the same page together. Or if there are fears that you have in a relationship, communicate with your spouse. You don't have to worry, but some people don't communicate. They actually wonder and they don't talk about their fears. They don't share. Your vulnerability that's what makes a relationship strong, when you show your spouse that I can be vulnerable and share your fears. Hey, wife. How are you doing? Sharon. I call you Sharon so that you know who I'm talking to. My brother's wife. Always call you wife. The princess of Nube's family. How are you doing? So those are the things that are important to us, that in a relationship, and very, very important. And also work on your fears, because the fear can destroy. Use gratitude. If there is something that you fear in a relationship, use gratitude. And if you are somebody who you can meditate, if you know, I can't tell you the process of meditation because I meditate through the Bible. So my meditation is completely different. So if you are a Christian, you can fast, meditate in the Word of God, and that will help you to unleash those fears, whatever you fear about in a relationship. Because when we have kids, we fear about our children. When they grow up, we worry about who they are going to hang out, who they're going to become. So the fear is always there, but you just have to. There's a song that we sing in choir that if fear is not welcome in my heart, I'm casting it out by the power in your name. Fear, it blocks everything. When we fear, sometimes we fear about our health. Sometimes our relationship can be threatened by health, or it can be threatened by so many things, or maybe our children. Sometimes maybe we have teenagers, and we are not on the same page how we're raising these teenagers, because all these things, like I have a 16-year-old. So what I've noticed is if she does something, she goes to her dad. Her dad will just say, okay, that's fine. But to me, I always make sure that my daughter understands the wrongs and the right. And we are on the same page. But sometimes it can be very, very difficult to deal with the teenagers. So those are the things that you might need to. Sometimes myself, I just don't like to talk. Whenever there is a problem, sometimes I just want to pray, because there are some things, as I said from the beginning, that we can control, and some things we can't. And that's why it's very, very important to build trust, and a mutual respect is very, very important in a relationship. When we actually trust each other, building trust, and setting healthy boundaries. Trust comes with boundaries, and being transparent, what you can tolerate in that relationship, what you can't. And if we look at God, God has those who are not Christians. I'm a Christian, so I like to use my God. So God has his image. He has his character. Jesus. He has his values, his beliefs. He has his kingdom, the throne of grace, which is the third heaven. Throne of grace. So he says to the world, he created this world. So he says to this world, what is my camera doing? So he says to this world, if you want to enter my kingdom, oh, what's going on? If you want to enter my kingdom, he created, there are 10 commandments that you need to follow. So the reason why I'm making this example, every person has to have principles in place. I'm not talking about the principles of ego or making rules or making life difficult for somebody. All I'm saying is the principles that you live by, which is your values, your beliefs. Have them in place. So God has his 10 commandments. He has his boundaries. that he does not force anybody to be in his kingdom. Voluntarily, you become a Christian voluntarily. You become who you want to become. You follow him voluntarily. You praise him voluntarily. So the relationship is like that. You put your principles in place, boundaries, they are there. Put them in place. What can you tolerate in a relationship? The things that you can't. And your spouse, you need to be very clear. Your spouse, they need to know the things that you cannot tolerate, the things that you can. As long as we are clear. So we have to be very, very clear in those things like your family values. Can you negotiate in your relationship when you meet somebody to compromise your family values? So you need to have those things in place so that the person that you're dating, you're on the same page, they know exactly what is going on. So you can both, that's why a man has to have a vision. And when a man has a vision for his wife, he has his boundaries. He brings that vision to his wife and say, you know what, honey, I imagine buying you imagine buying you maybe somewhere where we can, maybe countryside home, or maybe if you like a country, or maybe in the city. He says, I imagine getting you a beautiful home. And the woman then she brings, because a woman, she is a mentor. Then she tells her husband, oh, honey, that would be a brilliant idea. So my home, if you can afford my home, this is how my home will look like. Then she tells her husband, this is how my home is going to look like. It's going to have this, it's going to have this. And the husband brings some ideas and he goes, oh, how about adding this? So they both have, or if the woman does not like living in the city, like myself, I'm not a big city person. I live in Henley. Henley is a very, very beautiful town. It's very small, it's gorgeous. We get lots of people, tourists coming to live here, to visit. It's beautiful. I wouldn't ask for anything. So if a woman does not like to live in a big city, or they like to live in, then they express their feelings. When a man brings the vision, you don't just say, oh, honey, okay. And then you block your feelings. You have to express it as a mentor, because a woman, I can tell you, the most cleverest person in this world is a woman. A woman, we are very, very smart, but we don't know how to access our power. We don't know how to unleash that power within. But a woman, if I can tell you, the more I ask about my identity, who I want to become, the more I realize that actually 10 years ago, I limit myself with things. We are capable of becoming something big. If you are a woman who is watching, know that we were invented and created to actually, the men leads, we were invented to mentor our men. If you look at a successful man, they have a good woman behind them. It's either their mother who mentored them, it's either is their siblings, it's either is their spouse who mentored them to become who they are. Women are smart. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys, but that is the truth. What is my camera doing? I have no idea what my camera is doing. So, yeah. So women are smart. So what you can do is making sure that you're both on the same page. Okay, let's go that way. So make sure that you're both on the same page. That can help you guys building that foundation. If you have a comment, guys, feel free to comment. And feel free to actually write your own thoughts as well, because that's very, very important. So those are the things that you need to understand, that women don't know that they're smart. And that with the reason why I'm saying women are smart, men, when you meet a woman, never tell them I'm going to marry you if you're not going to marry them. Always be honest, because they will hold you accountable if you don't fulfill your promises. Don't tell them anything if you know that you can never fulfill that promise, because they will remind you the dates. They're not going to write it down, but in their mind, when you tell a woman something, it goes into their mind. You tell them, honey, on this day, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. Or when you meet them on a first date, a second date, and then 6 months later, you tell them that, oh, I'm going to marry you. We're going to have children. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. You tell them about your dreams. Okay, if they don't happen, that's God's plan. We don't have control about life. But when you don't fulfill the promises that you've made to her, God, she will remind you. She will even tell you the date and the time. On this day, at 11:25 or 11:30, you said this and this and this, and now you are doing the other thing. So they'll remind you of that, because they are smart. So never ever underestimate a woman. That's why sometimes a man is say women talks, women, they do this. But sometimes women, they give you the information that you gave to them. They give it back when the promises are not fulfilled. So if you're going to marry a woman, keep reminding them, because marriage requires finances. It requires, keep reminding them that, honey, we need to put the money together. Remember, we need to get married. So they need to know. I'm not saying you start stressing. It's all about the journey that you walk through together. So if you are the man who gets into confused.com, the woman is not going to be happy when you get into confused.com. If you tell a woman you're going to marry them, if they are still the right woman for you, just get on with it. Let them know you still appreciate them. You are grateful for them. They need to hear these things to make sure that you're both on the same page. This is a tip for men. Don't just tell a woman when you meet them, you tell them what you believe they want to hear. Don't say it. If you are not sure, just say, one day I'll get married with the right woman. If you become the right one, I'll marry you without any obligations. So it's very, very important to have principles in place to make sure that you are on the same page. Emotionally, we need to make sure that nurturing emotionally intimacy is very, very important. Is the heart, emotionally intimacy is the heart of a deep and a meaningful relationship. That's why it's very, very important to actually to keep sharing your vulnerability. When you share your vulnerability, you are fostering you are sharing emotionally intimacy through emotionally experience. The connection. So it is the power of empathy. So that it keeps you guys connected. Create a safe space for your spouse so that they can share, they can express. And when they do that, bond is built. Good foundation is built. But if you get married, if you enter a relationship with somebody, you go to work, you come home, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So what will you be building that way? Pain. You'll be building pain, depression, anxiety. So it's very, very important to actually just have a normal relationship. That, you know what I mean? That can help the foundation of a relationship. You know, like if you go and buy Flower, we love flowers. Everybody loves flowers. You bring a flower at home. If you don't water flowers with the right ingredients, what happens? It dies. So that's what happens with the relationship. We need to put the right ingredients. Sometimes there might be wrong ingredients. We can correct it. So that's how you make sure that we are on the same page. We want the same thing. You want the same thing. I want the same thing. And that way a relationship is built. How do we manage conflict? Being on the same page, it means we have to manage to deal with conflict. And when we manage to deal with the conflict, it means we can handle our differences in that relationship. We can handle our differences in a relationship. We can solve problems. We can manage our disagreement. We can understand the art of compromise peacefully, solving problems peacefully. That can transform challenges into opportunity of growth. The more we challenge each other, the more the relationship is. Challenges are not there to destroy. People think when they are faced with challenges enter your life to destroy you. That's not true. When the relationship is tested, it means that moment is when you realize, when you decide whether am I married a right woman or am I married to the right man in my life? Because the challenges, they test you. They test your relationship. The more you guys are able to solve those challenges, the more you grow together, the more you look back, and then you realize where you've been, where you're going. It helps you to grow. They are not men. Challenges are not men. They don't come to our lives to destroy, but because we don't know. But there are challenges that enters your life to destroy you, which is if you are in an abusive relationship, you need out. I'm not sure any other way. So for me, if you are in an abusive relationship, there are no compromise, you need to get out. That is there is a challenge that is there to tell you that you're not in a relationship with the right person and you just get out. But if you stay, that's not good for you. So there are some challenges that are there presented to us to test our relationship. How much do we say, why is marriage? Marriage is not like a romance. It's not like reading a romance book. Marriage is not like a reality TV. When we go and watch a reality TV, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. And we watch all those things of Big Brother, people fall in love on the thing, on the show. And then we think, oh, I love them. Why can't I just have all that? Are you kidding me? That is a script that has been given to people to actually act. Relationship is not like that. They are not acting. Everything is real. Feelings, emotions. Emotionally, physically is involved. Everything. Imagine. So those are the things that are actually involved in a relationship. So those challenges, when they are brought into our lives, we need to make sure that we face them without fear. Fear is not welcome. Without maybe letting the argument get out of control, because sometimes the arguments can get out of control. And then also the other thing is cultivating shared goals and dreams. That's why when I said at the beginning, a man one of the roles of a man is an architect. A woman, she's a mentor. When we are cultivating goals and dreams in our dreams, everything has to be linked. It has to merge together. It has to connect. If there is no connection in those dreams, because the dreams, they build the relationship. The dreams, it has to go towards your image, your character, your everything. But if it's not merged, let's say the dreams that you want to get married, you want to live together, and the other person wants to go and travel around the world. So it doesn't go together. Unless if you are somebody who both haven't got kids, and both can work anywhere. Nowadays, remote work, yes, you can travel around the world with your spouse. But if the other person, they just want to travel, then and the other person doesn't, so those are the things that we need to make sure that our goals, aspirations with our spouse can lead to journey of fulfillment together. Because if they don't, then that relationship cannot be united by common purpose. So we want the unity. That's what we need when it comes to relationship. Unity is very, very important. Meaning, if I understand what my spouse wants, their goals, their dreams, and the woman has goals and dreams, she's a mentor. She has her own dreams, by the way. He has his own dreams. So her job is to mentor these dreams to come to reality, to actually align together. That's why you find sometimes men, there's a family business. It's been run together, men and a husband, a woman and her man. Or sometimes you may find a woman has her own business, empowering in a different way. A man has his own business, but they all, because they have things in common, they all have things to talk about. So they come in, they actually motivate each other. But if this one is got a business, but this one does not want to work, like my dad. My parents' relationship didn't work because my dad wanted a housewife. My mom wanted to go back to school and study and become something. So this relationship didn't work, because my dad thought by getting a woman who looks after his children and supporting her was the right way, being the provider was the right way, but it wasn't right for my mom. So we have to make sure that all these things align together. What the woman wants, we support them, we mentor them to become. Remember, I said the man is designed to bring the best out of his woman. It means if your woman wants to become whatever she wants to become, man, do the work. Get on with the work. Do not discourage. Never, ever discourage your woman. Whoever she wants to become, if she says she wants to become this, your job as a man is to make sure, honey, write the map, bring the map. How are we going to do this? We don't have to know. We have to know the ending, but we don't have to know the how. So all we got to do, a man has to take a pen and paper and say, honey, you want to do this? I'm going to support you 100%. And just support your woman to become who she wants to become. And a woman, support your man. It sounds very easy and simple when you're saying it, but it is hard. You have to be disciplined. In order for you to want somebody, you have to get rid of jealousy. The first thing that I did when I did my training with Paul McKenna, the module was get rid of jealousy. Deal with jealousy. How do you deal with jealousy? How when you see somebody succeed, how do you react to that? So I had to work on it. I had to deal with it. In my heart, I had to deal with it psychologically, emotionally. I had to deal with it. How, if I see my friends succeeding, will I celebrate them? If I see my family members succeeding, will I celebrate them? Those are the things that I had to learn, I had to deal with. And after I finish the module, I realized actually the thing is real. So we have to make sure that we are not jealous, because sometimes a man can become jealous of the person that they are dating, or a woman can become jealous of the man that she's dating. So we have to make sure that we get rid of jealousy, because jealousy and fear does not build, it destroys. So get rid of fear, get rid of jealousy. Because that person, they shine, let them shine with you, hand in hand. If he's a good man, he will shine with his woman. If she's a good woman, she will shine with a good woman, with a good man. It doesn't matter if a man, I always say, if a woman has an opportunity to earn money, earning more than her spouse, or if a man can stay home and look after the kids, if the woman can go and work, I always say, be it. That's why a woman is a provider. That's why a man is a provider. Everybody is a provider. It does not matter who works, who doesn't. If the opportunity is presented, take it so you can look after your family. No jealousy, no time of jealousy or a man to feel threatened by the success of his woman. If you have kids, men looking after children is hard work. So if a man can stay at home, look after his children, be it. If a woman can go, if she has opportunity that can bring change the family, be it. All is needed is, are we on the same page? Be on the same page. When you are on the same page, when your life is presented with problems, you're able to solve them gracefully and peacefully. So that's all I can say. If you are a man out there, don't get jealous of your spouse if they succeed. Or if you are a woman out there, don't get jealous. Their success, it shows that they have a good woman behind them. So there's no need. Or a man is, when a woman succeeds with a man, it shows that she has a good woman, a man behind her. So that's how I see life. I don't see life as a threat. If there is an opportunity for somebody to take it, just take it and get on with it without fighting or without feeling jealousy. Is easy and done, said and done, but requires a hard work. That's why Christians, you have to fast. When you fast, you crucify the flesh, because the flesh is the biggest threat in the world. The flesh loves the world. But when you crucify the flesh, it means anything, you can conquer anything in this world. So it's important, if you are a Christian, to fast, to understand why do you fast. You fast because you want God, you want to crucify the flesh. You want to connect to the Holy Spirit, to your inner being, to your inner child. Remember when you were a child, there were things that you were fearless. You could do anything. You crawl, you fall. When you fall, you get up. You wouldn't worry about the people's opinions, because at that moment you didn't care. That's why we fast. Crucify the flesh. Get rid of, so that we don't worry about the world. We don't worry about people's opinions. All we worry about is, how can we add value into this beautiful world with the people that wants to walk with us? That's why I said I used God's character and said, if you look at God's character, he says, if you want to enter my kingdom, this is who I expect you to be. So if you have friends or people that you date, they want you to change it to be something that you're not, that relationship, that means you're not on the same page. When you meet somebody, it means you accept them for who they are with their imperfection. So that's what relationship is about. So that is very, very, very important to actually to understand the bond, and also effective expression. Express yourself be clear and honest. That is the critical component of having a good relationship in your life. Avoid using assumptions about what your partner should know. Instead, communicate your thoughts. Be considerate to somebody else's feelings. Expression, good expression, actually promotes transparency and allows for deeper emotional connection. Before I came on here, I'm doing some research in personality and intelligence. So I had questions when I was doing this before I came on. So my question is, it's like, okay, personality and intelligence, how we make our assumptions about people, who they are. And then later on, we find out that that's when I realized actually that's why people divorce. Because sometimes the relationship don't work, they don't make it to marriage because we make assumptions. When we meet somebody, we go on dates with them and we get to know them, but we make assumptions based on what is being presented to us. But telling the truth, we don't really know that person. Or sometimes they can hide the real them, their real true self, and then that true self can show up later. So it's a very, very interesting when you go deep to theory of mind and how the mind works and the intelligence and personality. So I'm excited to see how this research is gonna go. And it's just an amazing thing to have to do it. Is awesome. So I'm excited. I'll tell you guys my findings. So now I'm having to think. So I'll use it to my matching people with my matchmaking company. But it's very, very, very exciting. And let's see how it goes. Personality, intelligence, and personality as well. We make assumptions when it comes to relationship. People don't get to know the person, they assume. And non-verbal communication is very, very important in a relationship as well. Pay attention to what the person is saying and body language. What are they saying? The words and non-verbal words, their expression, their voice. What is left unsaid can carry a profound meaning in that relationship. So pay attention. When you communicate better, it helps you and your spouse to understand your emotions and your intentions. And whatever you do in that foundation of your relationship, empathy and understanding is very, very important as well. Put yourself in your spouse's shoes and see the world from their perspective. Understand their feelings, experiences without judgment. Empathy fostering compassion and encourages open sharing emotions. And then it creates a safe space for vulnerability. So that's why when I always say to my clients when they meet on a date, listen to somebody's story. Don't judge. When you walk when you walk in a restaurant, or whether you're meeting them in a restaurant, whether I don't allow my clients don't go for coffee for the first date. It's an audition. First, when they're not allowed to go on for coffee, they can either go, they have to plan, but they're not allowed to go for coffee, because when you take somebody to a coffee shop or you take somebody to the pub, you want them to audition. They're auditioning for their place. It's a play in a relationship, but a relationship is not like that. So we want to make sure that the person feels as comfortable as possible. And we want to make sure that they get to know you in the process of that journey. So that's why what I do with my clients before the women meet men, I go on a date, a mini date with men, so I can have an idea of their character, their personality, the bad habit, the good habit, and then we work on them. So if I go on a date with somebody, I don't tell them why I'm there. I get to know them. And when I'm finished, I assign a coach with them. I need you to do the work on them. They have this, they need to get rid of that, because how you treat me is how you're going to treat the woman that you meet. A man, when you meet a man on a first date, a man is there to get to know you. A woman, she's there to get to know you. You're not interested with their exes, how much they pay for the maintenance, how much you don't want to know all those things. They come later. But at that moment, you just want to connect. So those are the things that we make sure that there's a big difference between the past. If somebody asks you, why are you single? It's simple. You know what? I've not met the right person in my life. And that is the only truth. Instead of telling them, oh, my ex was so horrible, he was a horrible man. It means you're still bitter. So those are the things that I look for, so that I can help you when you go on dates to make sure that you are in the present moment, not living in the past. So those are things that are important. So what I was gonna say when it comes to empathy and understanding. So what I was gonna say is empathy and understanding. It means when we go on dates, we tell each other story. And then when you're watching a movie, in order for the movie to be really exciting, okay, what is the movie about? Okay, you get to tell the story, who is the main actor, how their story behind that, how the story began, and then you get excited, That's what the dates is about. Tell me the story. Is the movie. It's like, imagine the movie. Okay, when you actually take your credit card out, it means you like the movie. You would really want to watch it. You want to understand the story. So the relationship connection is like that. You watch the movie. You want to know the story. Oh, what was the story? Where did it all begin? You want to know. My favorite actor is Samuel Jackson. I love Samuel Jackson. He's amazing. There are so many that I love, but he's my number one. I love him so much. And who else do I love? I like Samuel Jackson. Thor. I like Thor in John Cena. They're lovely. I love them. And Jackie Chan. How can I leave my best friend, Jackie Chan? Who am I? I love those guys. Jackie Chan, Samuel Jackson, and Thor. So I love those guys. And the first thing when I'm watching Samuel Jackson, I want to know the story behind his acting. So they show you a little bit of the past in that movie. And then you actually get excited. And then you're like, oh, wow, tell me more. And then it comes the story. So, and then in order for me to actually get excited, it means I'm already related to that story. I'm relating now to that story. And then it comes to a number 3, I'm sympathizing with him now. And then I connect with Samuel Jackson, John Cena, with Thor, and Thor connect with them. And when you connect with somebody, dating is like that. We see dating as fear. It has so much fear. You know, I can't do this. I've not dated. It's been a long time since I've been on it. Oh, no. Can you fear when you're watching the movie? Get excited. That's what a relationship is about. And when you date somebody 2 years, 3 years, why would that change? It changes because how you thought about that person, it changes because your mind and whatever, let me shut this. It changes because the person, they decide either they get lazy or either their perception about a relationship changes. They're like, oh, I've been in a relationship for a long time and then I don't have to do the work and stuff. It changes because of so many things. What can I say? So it changes because of, okay. It changes, okay. I was watching Tony Robbins yesterday. He mentioned about the strategy. So when you have strategy, you need a story. It changes because of the state of mind. Yeah. So he mentioned the state of mind. He mentioned the story. He mentioned the strategy. And that made sense to me. That, okay, when we go to this, like when we go and watch the movie, we get excited. And that is the same thing. That's how, I don't know what I have in my eyes. That's how relationship it should be. Relationship, it shouldn't be like fear. It shouldn't be, you should get excited. That's what love is about. But if we change our state of mind, we change this story and make it fear, we change so many things, but we are meant to enjoy. So those are the things. And also know how to, the conflict resolution is very, very important. I'm looking at the time now. I'm not sure if I'm going to cover all these things. So conflict resolution is very, very important to know how to handle matters and know how to find a solution. And attacking your spouse is not going to build a relationship. Timing and patience. You know what? I have so much timing and patience, but I wasn't born with it. It's something that I had to work on myself. Being patient with people. Timing, there's everything for timing. If a man goes to work and they come home, they leave their socks and you pick up the socks and you're like, I don't like this guy picking up, leaving his socks or leaving his clothes everywhere or leaving the toilet seat up. I don't like it. And the poor man goes to work, maybe 7 hours, 6 hours. He's so tired. He has a bad day. He comes home. Instead of, honey, giving him a kiss and let him have his own space, you tell him off. Or the woman goes to work, she comes home, she gets told off straight away. Her home is a place where she needs to feel comfortable. She needs to feel safe. He needs to feel comfortable. He needs to feel safe. So all you got to do is you have to learn how to solve all this timing. There's a time for everything. Appreciation and affection. is very, very important. Just because you are in a relationship with somebody for 20 years or 5 years, it doesn't mean you can give them a sloppy kiss. It does not mean you cannot kiss them. You cannot hold their hands. It does not mean you cannot be emotionally intimate with them. That's a disaster. So meaning you have to keep that going. You have to show your appreciation, avoid assumptions. Don't assume the story of a person if you don't know it. Celebrate your similarities and differences. Embrace your uniqueness with your spouse. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate your relationship. Celebrate your individuality. Your relationship might be different from your friends, from somebody. It means it's unique. Embrace it. Celebrate it. Don't compare it with anybody else. Communicate it together, build the harmonies that harmonize your relationship. That's why I called myself I'm a love harmonist, because when you harmonize the love that you have with a person is beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I think that's about it for today. I think that's about it. So harmonize the relationship that you have. It's very, very important in gratitude. Be grateful for your life. When God gives you this image, it's a beautiful image. Never compare yourself with anybody else or compare your spouse with anybody else. Never ever do that. When you do that, it's a thief of blessings. I always say it's a thief of joy. It's a thief of joy, thief of blessings. It means you are stealing your blessings. Never ever compare your life with anybody else. There were times where you go through challenges in life. I've gone through challenges in life, but I never ever compared my life with anybody else. I went through divorce. I never compared my relationship with anybody else. I find myself a woman who was there looking for a man, and I find that man. Find myself being a woman who's trying to keep a man and a child, raising our child together. 9 years later, I was a woman, a single woman with no man, trying to figure out my journey, but not even once I compared my life with anybody else. I knew the path that I was facing was for me. I knew my path was unique. I embraced my differences, and without blaming my ex, without blaming myself, I knew that I needed to learn some things. I knew that I needed to unlearn some things. So when I meet the person that I meet, I can be on the same page with them. And I embraced that pain. When I embraced that pain, psychology was born through that pain. Matchmaking was born through that pain. Ngosi talk shows was born through the pain. That's why I'm saying challenges are there to help us become the person that we want to become. I didn't just wake up one day and decided, you know what, I'm going to start my business. It was through challenges where I found Paul McKenna's journey, and I decided to learn more about him, what he does. And I mend my broken heart through his program. When I mend my broken heart, and I was like, this is very, very interesting. I want to know more. I want more about this. But then I decided to create my identity based on who I thought I was. But God had a different story about my life. He showed me a way. So you can actually be the person that you want to become. So I'm going to leave you with this. If you are not a Christian, I don't invite Oh, it looks like Zoom kicked me out. So I am not sure what happened there. So I was saying, if you are somebody who has your own business in a relationship, you need to ask yourself, who is occupying the gate of your business? Are you in charge of your business? Who is occupying the gate of your marriage? Everything we do, I follow my pastor, my pastor, Dr. Olukoya, he teaches things like how blessings are created, how to become different at what you do. And he's good at what he does. The business coaches, the big business coaches and speakers that I follow, they actually follow my pastor. He's very, very good at what he does. Even Shanda, sometimes she follows him because he is a very, 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 he speaks the truth. So who is occupying the gate of your business? Who is occupying the gate of your marriage? There's a keeper. Everything we do in life, there is a keeper, angel, that occupies everything that we do. But with you, are you in control of that? So your business might not be going well because of somebody else is occupying that gate. Your marriage might not be going well because somebody else is occupying that gate. So that's what I leave you guys with. Who is occupying your marriage for you not to be on the same page with your spouse? Who is occupying everything, the umbrella of your life? So these are the questions that you need to ask yourself. If you are a Christian, ask God to ask the throne of grace from the third heaven to fall upon your life so you can occupy your portion of your life. Maybe you are born to be a billionaire. Maybe you are born to be a millionaire. Maybe you are born to be something and you are not that yet. So who is occupying that blessing you are meant to become? Is it fear? Is it, I'm not enough? Just go find it. Ask yourself, who is occupying all these things in marriage, work, everything? If life is not going well, who is the keeper of that gate? God bless everyone. We are here at Nkosi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. So tomorrow, I think I might be with Kamal or I might be on my own. Everyone is on holiday. So you might see me coming on my own. The other coaches, they've gone away. It's the summertime, they're enjoying life. For me, even if I'm on holiday, because I just have to come on 1 hour and just do what I have to do and just go and enjoy with my family. That's what business is about. So I can't disappear. So I'm gonna see my face every day. If I'm not there, it means I'm doing other things and somebody else takes over. So that's how life is about. And God bless everyone. Live with grace.